Guys, I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about the new packaging from Havoline for their motor oil. They're now packaging it in a box. So this is an eco-friendly box. It's almost like getting wine in a box. But now here you're getting oil in a box. And so I used to buy these religiously. This is the brand I was using. This is their 5W20 high mileage synthetic blend oil. And this used to come in a, as you can see, a plastic container like all the rest of the oil brands. And this was 5 quarts. So now Havoline has switched over to this box, and what I think is awesome is that for only a few more cents, I mean, I think at Walmart I was paying like 15 and change, maybe 15.46, something like that, 15.36. And now this boxed Havoline oil is like 15.82 at Walmart. But look, you're getting an extra quart. I mean, that's crazy. And it's the same oil I was getting before in the plastic jug. Now I really like this format because of course you're not using nearly as much plastic, and it just has a plastic bladder inside of it. Let's see if I can see, yeah, here on the edge you can see there's the plastic bladder. It's kind of neat, comes with all these instructions on what to do with the different flaps on the side of the boxes. So this one here at the top is a handle so you can carry it out of the store, because you know there's no handle like on the old jug. And then down here you can cut out this window. So for example, I'm about to do an oil change on a Honda Pilot that takes 4.5 quarts of oil, so I'll need to cut this out to be able to figure out how much oil I need to put in. And what's great is I'll be left over with oil that I can then consolidate and eventually do another oil change without having to buy another box. On the back, it's got basically all the same key features as the old container. You know, nothing's changed there. It's basically the same label, just copied over to the box. And then on this side, it's got all the instructions. So it's literally like opening a box of wine. It's kind of hilarious. And then on the top, here's where you actually open it up to get the spout out of the top. But just think about the amount of space that you're saving in the landfill, because I'm not convinced that these bottles really are getting recycled. I mean, lately I've heard that China's not buying any of our recycling stuff, so a lot of these bottles are ending up in the landfill. And this is going to take a lot more space, and it's going to take a really long time to degrade. Whereas this box, yeah, it's coming with a plastic bladder inside of it, but it takes up a lot less space in the landfill, and the box will, degrade in less than a year. So I think it's pretty awesome. Havoline's the first one to market with this box, and I suspect that here in the next few months or so, we'll see other brands start using a box like this. All right, well, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I appreciate you looking at the video. Take care. All right, guys, here's what it looks like when you take the spout out. It's really easy to do, and then you just got to pull this little ring here to take the plastic seal out, and then you're ready to pour. I'm only going to use 4.5 quarts in this vehicle, so I took the side panel out so that I could go ahead and measure how much oil I'm putting into the vehicle. Really cool. Definitely a smart change by Havoline. Alright guys, here's my first impression on using this new boxed oil. I gotta say, it's not as convenient or as easy to maneuver, to manage as one of the jugs. So it's a little awkward. You kind of have to get used to it. The shape, this being square shape, it's not rounded, it's a little bit bigger. It's harder to kind of get around things inside the engine bay. I definitely recommend using a funnel so that you don't have to try to get this thing down inside the engine bay. This handle on the side here, when you grab it like this is how you're going to be pouring the oil. And so at first that's a little awkward. You kind of have to get used to holding it here versus holding it on top or holding it on the side. But once you kind of get used to it, it's really not that bad. One of the kind of neat things is that with the jugs, I always had problems with a little dribble, and that would kind of get all over the place. With the cardboard, that actually soaks that up, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. Other than that, this little window on the side, this worked perfectly. So I needed to put in 4.5 quarts, and maybe I overshot it a little bit, but that's okay. This window really worked well, and I still think this is a good choice if you're looking for an eco-friendly oil. I keep wanting to say eco-friendly wine because it just reminds me of boxed wine, but if you're looking for an eco-friendly oil, this is the one to get. And again, you're going to get an extra quart in this box versus the jugs. Overall, I'll keep using it. I'm sure I'll get used to this handle, and I'll get better at maneuvering the box around. Thanks for looking, guys.